everyone, today we're going to take a look at the new Godox V100 for Sony cameras. And full disclosure, Godox did send this light out to me to review. However, as always, I'll give you my honest and fair opinion. Now the V100 brings a lot of significant upgrades. Namely, it's now 100 watt second light, so it's about 30% more power than the previous Godox V1 Pro. Also, we have a new 2.3 inch color touchscreen, which is a first for Godox flashes. Now, some of the things that have carried over from the V1 Pro is we're using the same USB-C rechargeable VB30 battery. So this makes it really convenient to charge a battery because you don't have to remember to bring a separate charger. All you need is any USB-C power source, and they did include an AC USB-C adapter. Now the VB30 battery will provide about 400 full power flashes with a recycle time of about 1.8 seconds. However, you can still attach an external PB960 battery, and that'll cut the recycle time by more than half to just 0.7 seconds. And of course, you'll get over 1,000 full power flashes from that. Now, the heat management in the V100 series is really good. You'll be able to get 70 to about 100 full power flashes without it slowing down. They've also carried over from the V1 Pro this very unique SU1 fill-in light, which provides supplemental lighting for low light scenarios. So it's kind of like having two flashes in one. And of course, being a professional flash, you're going to have multiple modes available like TTL, full manual, multi-strobic, and also high-speed sync up to 1/8,000th of a second. And the V100 is compatible with the new Sony global shutters. But I think my favorite feature of the Godox flashes is the X wireless system, which makes it very flexible and compatible with a wide ranges of Godox flashes and triggers. So for example, I can use any of my older triggers and newer triggers in the X system like the Godox X1, X2, X2 Pro, and the new X3, which now has an automated wireless syncing function, which I'll demonstrate later. All right, now let's take a closer look at the flash itself. And basically this is what you get in the box. You get the V100 flash, USB-C cable, AC adapter, and a carry case here, along with a hot shoe stand, which has a metal 1/4-20 thread in the bottom. Now, doing a quick comparison to the Godox V1 Pro, we can see that the V100 is now just a couple of millimeters taller, but the overall size is pretty much the same. We have the new LCD display here, which I'll demonstrate later, and there's a lot less buttons here. So you can see you're going to have to rely on the touchscreen quite a bit, and that can be a pro or con depending if you like touchscreens or not. Personally, I prefer a more tactile feel to the flashes, but I really do like the updated display. So ultimately, this would be my choice over the two flashes. Now, turning over to the side here, you can see on the V100, we have the PC sync port, a USB-C port, which is strictly for updating the firmware. It does not charge the battery internally, and the battery release button. On the V100, we have the same PC sync port and USB-C port here under a cover, the battery release button, but we do have a TTL to manual switch here for quick access and changing modes. On the V100, you would do this now just using the touchscreen. Now coming over to the front, we have the same SU1 fill-in flash. We have our optical receiver here, and then we also have a port to plug in external power sources such as the PB960. And then looking at the bottom, we have the same metal hot shoe that was introduced in the V1 Pro. It's also on the V100. This is more specific to Sony versions of this flash. And then on the right side here, no changes here, but I do have the newer VB30 battery that has the USB-C port. In the V1 Pro, it does come with the same VB30, but I wanted to show you the same battery without the USB-C port, and these are interchangeable. And then coming back over to the front, I wanted to point out a couple other things. We do have the same modeling lamp here in the front. The V1 Pro came with this metallic magnetic ring here. On the V100, there are some versions out there, specifically the USA models, do not have the magnetic ring, in which case you'll see the flash with a red ring here around the front instead of the black ring. Now the version I got does have the magnetic ring, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. Now we have the same articulating and rotating head as you find on many flashes. However, what I like to point out on the Godox V series is that you can point this straight back like this if you want to do rear bounce flash without having to rotate the head all the way around like that. All right, now let's take a look at the new touchscreen. So to turn the flash on, you push and hold the power button, rotate the wheel. This is a safety feature to prevent the flash from accidentally being turned on while it's in your bag. And then you're presented with this beautiful color display. Now, right now we're in TTL mode, but if I want to switch to manual mode, I just tap the screen right here, and I can toggle back and forth between TTL and manual. And if I want to adjust the power, say exposure compensation while I'm in TTL mode, I can just tap the plus or minus here. It adjusts in thirds of a stop. Or I can touch the numbers here and slide back and forth. And you can see I'm covering the number here, but once I tap the exposure compensation numbers, I can actually move my finger down and continue to slide back and forth so my finger's not blocking the actual power output. Or I can click on the center button here and then rotate the wheel if I want to adjust it this way. And if I click it again, I can rotate the wheel to the next option here and toggle between ETL and manual like this. Go to the next box, and I can adjust my zoom control, or I can just tap on that and set the zoom to whatever I want, or I can just put it into auto mode. And then finally we have the sub flash here, where we can turn it on or off, or adjust the power output here, and then go back. All right, now let's look at some other options. We can swipe down on the screen, and this will give us access to our high-speed sync, modeling lamp, and then we can adjust the power by using the slider here. Turn that off. This is our autofocus assist light for DSLRs. Of course, our beep sound and multi-strobic mode. And we can also lock the touch screen, so when we touch it, nothing happens. And to unlock, we just push and hold and let go. All right, now if we swipe from the left side, we have access to our wireless settings and menu. And this is one of my favorite features of the Godox flashes is you can control other flashes off camera, or you can use this flash off camera in receiver mode. So if we want to use this flash as a trigger, transmitter, sender, we click on the sender icon here, and then we have groups A, B, C, and D. And if we want to activate group A, for example, we push and hold here and turn that on. Then we can adjust the power here in steps, or I can activate B and start adjusting its power. And then if I want to deactivate group B, I just push and hold here and push and hold if I want to deactivate group A. And then going back, we swipe over to the left. If I want to use this flash off camera, I just tap on the receiver mode, and then I can select the group that it's going to be in, A, B, C, D, and E. And this is all color-coded to match the new color scheme that Godox is doing now. Okay, now let's swipe over to the left and go into the wireless menu. And this is where you would set your channel and ID number to match whatever your trigger is. However, they've included two new features here, the scan and the sync function. And if you're using one of, say, the older triggers like the X1 or, say, even the X2, these did not have scanning features. And what this does is it looks for the cleanest Wi-Fi channel that you can use. So that way you'll get less interference, thereby less misfires. So what you would do is just click the scan button, and then it'll start searching for the cleanest channel. And then once that's done, it'll give you a list of channels that you can select from. So I'd say select channel 23, and then I would just set my trigger onto channel 23. There's also a new sync feature here. So if we click on this, what this does is if you have one of the newer triggers like the X3, you can go into the X3 menu, select setting, select wireless, and select wireless sync. And what this will do, it'll match the channel and ID number to whatever the channel ID number is set on your trigger, thereby sort of eliminating any guesswork. And really the workflow is a little bit faster if you use this feature now. All right, now let's look at what's in the menu. We select that, we can go in here and adjust the power setting if we want to adjust it in fractions or use integers. Or we can turn the photocell on or off, which is basically the optical trigger here for firing this flash off camera. And we can adjust the meters and feet, standby time, auto off, kind of all the usual stuff here. Have the modeling lamp continuous or come on and off with the flash, factory reset, and device info. So you can see I'm in the latest firmware here, version 1.02. Overall, I really like this flash, and I can recommend it because there's a lot of nice updates here since the Godox V1 Pro came out, namely the new color LCD touch display. I mean, it's easy to read outdoors, even in bright sunlight, and the large colorful fonts makes it even easy for me to read what the settings are with my dying eyes. And the update to 100 watt seconds, say, versus the 75 watt seconds makes it even brighter and more powerful than the Godox V1 Pro. Now, I didn't really talk about the fill-in flash here on the front, the SU1. I did a full review on this particular piece in my Godox V1 video, so if you're interested in this, you can check that out. But generally speaking, I don't use this at all. I guess it's one of those things, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But it's supposed to just give you a little fill-in light when you're bouncing the flash up, which can be useful at times. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.